Alright, so here's my third example using the shell method. Uh, so we have the volume is equal to 2 pi times the integral a to b of p of x, which is the radius. That's the distance from the axis you're revolving it around to the center of the rectangle or the edge of the shell. Okay, now the rectangle will represent the edge of the shell, times the height, which is the h of x, which is the height of the shell or the height of the rectangle, times the thickness of the shell or the thickness of the rectangle, dx or delta x. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this third example here. Now, it says find the volume of the solid formed by revolving the region bounded by the graphs of y equal x squared plus 1, y equals 0, x equals 0, and x equal 1 about the y-axis. Alright, so first thing, let's draw a picture of this. Alright, so if we're here at 1, okay, that would be y equals 1. And so this is a parabola that opens upward. And then we can draw the line x equal 1. Okay. Alright, so the graph's going to look something like this. And we're revolving it about the y-axis. Now, one thing I want to say before I get started on this is this same problem I worked using the washer method. If you want to check that out, it's the look for the washer method videos. It's example 3. And you'll see if you watch that video, you'll see how by using the shell method, how it's much easier to do this problem than when we did it using the washer method. Because using the washer method, we had to break it up into 2 regions. All right, so let's just go ahead and keep going on the using the shell method. So we draw a rectangle. Now we're revolving it about the y-axis. So we draw a rectangle in there parallel to that axis. Okay, so now we need the radius. So the radius is the distance from the axis you're revolving it about to the center of the rectangle. And well, before we do that, there's the thickness, delta x. So everything's going to be in terms of x. So p of x, the radius, is equal to x, and then we need the height of the rectangle. So that's h of x, and this height here is x squared plus 1. Okay, and so now we're ready to set up our integral. So the volume is 2 pi, and we're going from 0 to 1. This is the line x equal 1 here. Okay, so that's 0 to 1 of the radius, which is x, times the height, which is x squared plus 1 times dx. Alright, so all I did here is I just distributed the x. Okay, so make it a lot easier to integrate. And so I get my volume is 2 pi times, and then that's going to be 1/4 x to the 4th plus 1/2 x squared, and that's from 0 to 1. Okay, and so the volume is 2 pi times, and that's going to be 1/4 times 1 to the 4th plus 1/2 times 1 squared minus, and then I have to plug the 0 in. But when I plug the 0 in, that's just all going to be 0. Okay, and so once you calculate all this, you end up with 2 pi, I'm sorry, not 2 pi, you end up with 3 pi over 2. And there's our answer. Okay, so I hope this video helped. And like I've said in other videos, draw the picture. Whatever axis you're revolving it about, in this case the y, draw that rectangle parallel to the axis you're revolving it. Then you just need the radius, that's the distance from the axis you're revolving it about to the center of the rectangle, and then you need the height of the rectangle. And that's really it. Okay, alright, thanks.